With Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, man, it seems like I don't know. It just seems like it's a very, very exciting time for professional wrestling. I've never been more excited to just off that news. It made AEW come across a lot better, and then the ratings are getting better for them. So to me, like I love the upswing of this company, even though I'm still critical of some of the stuff they do, obviously. But I'm actually I always said like a while back because people always compared NWO to Bullet Club, right? And I always felt like NWO was more of the destruction of the industry, while Bullet Club is going to be to unite the industry. And I wouldn't be down on this if CM Punk and Daniel Bryan both kind of debut. Not like the exact same way as the Outsiders, but like they will be two guys who come to save the industry rather than because like I imagine by the time they debut, I feel like the elite storyline is going to carry over to something really big. So I sense something really big going to happen where I hope it all pays off. You know what I mean? The Last Dance thing that CM Punk did on his Instagram really like you know what I mean. It just feels like 10 years ago we were feeling this buzz, and now 10 years later it's like the same kind of energy. And I'll leave you guys with that. So thank you very much for your coverage and everything.
Thanks as always, Hansi. We appreciate it. I mean, there's no limit of different ideas of staggering. Going with the impression that AEW is able to bring in both of how you do it in a strategic manner. I think, with Punk, if you have him signed to a deal, the obvious is those three dates in Chicago and just coming up with the strategy that's the most beneficial to you. And it really, like, if you have that card to play for those shows, it's really going to show AEW's strategy of what does it put on television? What does it advertise in advance? What does it save for pay-per-view? Like because that's not just the introduction, but the ripple effect of the first promo, the first match. It can be very advantageous how they utilize this. Like when Austin went down with that neck injury, like they were very strategic in the sense of building up to just him appearing. They got a pay-per-view number out of. And then they saved his first match for the next month's pay-per-view. So you had all of these things to build to rather than just giving it all away instantly. And then you've got the potential as well of like Danielson. Like it's a lot that fan expectations are going to be so high because the excitement is there. And now how do you deliver it in a way that is most beneficial, that you're going to get the most value out of for your company, for the attention it's going to garner you? Like there's a lot at play with how you execute these plans.
I'm definitely interested in seeing that element of, really just promotion when it comes to these two potential aces that they have now waiting up their sleeves. And, we definitely understand the value in promoting ahead of time, or at least teasing ahead of time. These people will appear this for the sake of a big rating or a pay-per-view. But this is also a company that seems to really value the element of surprise. You see it, as far back as like John Moxley appearing at Double or Nothing, or, lately Malachi Black making a surprise appearance that they could have easily promoted to pop a rating. But they value surprise. They value maybe the buzz and the excitement that seems to be generated from these kind of holy shit moments. And so I wouldn't completely, maybe discount the fact that we might not get a warning for Danielson or Punk, and maybe just letting the internet kind of do the rest, doing the build up for you.
I always think that, especially when you're talking about like a level of this magnitude, you at the very least, you want the idea out there so that there's the anticipation. And
it's out there.
It's out there. And I mean, the Observer noted it today, the fact that there's been ticket sales that have gone up now in Chicago. So like you want to be able to at least have that out there. And the intrigue is you don't know how he's going to show up or when. But I think whether it's advertised, whether it's not, it'll be a gigantic response. Like if that Now Arena just goes dark and you hear Alan Parsons Project and Punk walks out, a place is going to lose its mind.
Oh, you mean like that particular song? You think that's what he would go with?
Whatever. It's just that that's a song. When I first heard that, it was like this is like for a reintroduction in the Chicago market. It's Punk walking out to it. That it would be an unbelievable scene.
It would be great. I mean, he can come on with cult
I don't want to hear him to cult of personality, and I don't think he would want to either. I think he wants to start completely fresh.
I'm really just thinking about Tony Khan's pocketbook at this point, because he's writing a lot of checks, you know, and not just for wrestlers, but to musicians as well. Does he want to shell something out to Alan Parsons' project as well? You know, maybe AFI.
Let me tell you, if Punk and Danielson are coming in, he's putting a lot already into this. There's already a significant investment there. So
yes, I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and then it also comes down to the fact that, you know, Punk coming in, you know what the response is going to be instantly. Do you have this guy start as a heel after you get that enormous pop? Like, this is a very babyface heavy company when you've got Danielson on top of potentially.
There's no way you're going to turn him after like 7.5 years away. He's going to be the biggest babyface. I mean,
I totally think there's a scenario that you can absolutely turn him, not to say instantly and not in Chicago, but within that first month, there absolutely is. And you save the babyface run when it's more advantageous. You want to have a lineup that is going to conceivably have Hangman Page, Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Versus Kenny Omega and Malachi Black. Like, I think there's a lot of value in a Punk heel turn early, and then you do the babyface run when it's time.
I feel like you ride this momentum with him as a babyface right now, and then turn him when people get sick of it. I mean, you know, you can use this time to, like, think of an MJF Punk feud. How amazing that'll be. It'll elevate a guy like MJF to the next level. I would turn Moxley before I'd probably turn anybody else. He's kind of he hasn't really run his course as a baby face. He's an amazing baby face, but in a feud between Moxley and Punk, I feel like it'd be Moxley being a heel. Anyway, they can't go wrong anyway. Like, they have a lot of really fun elements to play with. And, you know, if they wanted to creatively maybe change things up to surprise us, I'm sure it'll work as well.
What if he came in and got beat in 2 minutes with the use of the ropes?
That would be a surprise. And that would be a colossal waste of whatever money they're paying him, whatever money they would presumably pay Alan Parsons or.
But think of the revenge he would get the next week.
Yeah. Would be.
Matt Hardy rolls him up and uses the ropes and pins Matt 2 minutes. Does it. Yeah. And then they're all chanting Hardy.
Yeah, I wouldn't see it coming, man.